Hey, everybody. This is Mark Smith and David Conley. Say hey, David.
Hey, hey, everybody.
So, this really is the relaunch of Digital Roughnecks. So, yeah, we have a bunch of, I call pilot episodes out there trying to find our voice and
Yeah,
trying to find the right platform that Digital Roughnecks would resonate on. And one of the platforms we did find that we get the most organic shares is actually LinkedIn. So, and LinkedIn has this thing about a 10-minute time limit on uploads. I'm sure that'll change over time. But anyway, we decided to launch a brand new podcast with a 10-minute format. It's going to be weekly video podcast that's broadcast for oil and gas professionals. We'll be on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and all the audio channels as well. So we're excited about that.
yeah,
And on each episode, we focus on a technology that helps our audience make the transformation to digital oil and gas technology. So the audience you can be an environmental person inside of an oil and gas company, operations. You could be a C-suite person, you could be an IT, and you're going to get a ton of value out of these things. Now, we got to tell you our origin story real quick. My
yeah,
background actually is IT, and I was an IT guy. I loved IT, managed a bunch of software development, and then got this idea to launch a magazine called Windows NT Magazine, and it was in partnership with Microsoft. And that back then, Windows NT had 0% market share in the enterprise, which is hard to believe now since it's Azure, right? And if you think about lately, but literally in 5 years, we saw this digital transformation. It totally transformed the enterprise from 0 to 70% market share in 5 years. We rode that wave, and eventually we had like 1.5 million subscribers in 160 countries and 13 languages. And so I'm super excited because of my media background to launch this new media brand called Digital Roughnecks. David, tell about your background.
yeah. So I'm an oil and gas guy. I've been in oil and gas for the past decade. I started um, drafting. I did P&ID diagrams for my first job, and from there I worked into some downhole tools at NOV, and then from there I got into the upstream and midstream like production equipment design. So I'm a mechanical designer by trade. Um, And then, then the infamous hot tub night happened whenever we started CleanConnect.ai. And that's a really cool story because I had just gotten laid off, as probably most of you guys have been through in the oil and gas industry, knowing how crazy it is. Um, but I was like, okay, I got to figure out something else to do, and not necessarily outside of oil and gas, but a different position or a different way to do it. And that's when I met it with Mark. Me and him had known each other for a couple of years personally, and had always chatted. He was always a mentor of mine, and we started talking about um, oil and gas. And then he introduced me to something called IoT that I didn't even know about. You want to talk about the IoT playbook and all that good stuff?
Yeah, and that's really what Digital Roughnecks is about. It's sort of equal parts we call OT, operational technology, like David's background, and IT, informational technology, like my background. It's equal parts coming together. And coming together, we decided to, David actually introduced me to a problem that was coming up in Colorado. And it was this need for continuous leak detection. And so we had to go and research, figure out how people do leak detection today, and learn about LDAR teams, learned about FLIR and the OGI camera. But it became quickly apparent that, hey, you need this camera, other specialty cameras, sensors, and stuff, married with AI software and then the services to do it, to actually pull off a lot of the things that were needed by now, which are our customers.
Yeah,
And not only do we need a certain technology, but we need a skill set. And we're like, man, what is this skill set? Because we needed to know what this is so we can hire people that have this skill set. So we came up with the term Digital Roughnecks,
yeah,
which is this equal part OT and IT skill set. Turns out, though, that Digital Roughnecks are not easy to find,
no,
and and customers want them. They're highly desirable, and right now it can command actually quite a pretty penny. So if you're sitting here listening and thinking, wait a second, either I am a digital roughneck or I'd like to become one, then this is the show for you, because we are going to be introducing you to the technologies, the skills, and everything to become a digital roughneck. It is our hope, quite frankly, that you come back to us and say, hey, I've been listening to your show. I decided to jump in. I listened to some of your training. And by the way, we are going to have things like a digital roughneck certification down the road, because our goal is to take and train a bunch of people how to become a digital roughneck, because we know ourselves and our customers would want to hire you like now.
Need them. Necessity.
Right. So you're thinking, wait a second, isn't the oil and gas industry laying off people? Yeah. But I'm telling you, they are hiring these people, and there's a huge demand for a digital roughneck. So one of the benefits you're going to get is we're going to actually document the journey of this new business that David and I launched with a couple other partners called CleanConnect.ai. It is a AI software company that solves problems in the energy sector, but specifically in oil and gas. And if you tune into these episodes, you're going to learn the skills, the players, the vendors, and the ecosystem that we need to solve our customers' problems around automating of compliance, autonomous operations, and digital transformation. So you're going to see the solutions to real problems that we're solving every day for our clients. And it's pretty exciting stuff. Now, one of the things about a digital roughneck that we kind of threw out there is this whole idea of a digital roughneck manages their success by how many pads they can manage remotely versus the amount of miles they put on their truck, which we think is the old way. And now the new way is literally, can they pull their phone up and manage or
And there's a distinction there that we should talk about, the difference between monitoring and managing.
Talk about that.
Whenever we monitor a well site, we do that now in Signet and things like that. The difference is managing, turning knobs in as if there was you had to send a person out there, turning knob, tuning BMS systems, shutting things down, checking for liquid leaks, checking for emissions leaks that you're sending out LDAR crews for. There's a difference between just monitoring and actually managing. And this has been around for a long time in the IT sector, which I learned. But I think I really truly believe that oil and gas is on the cusp of really changing the landscape of what the industry looks like as a whole. And what they say, you can, what is it? How do you predict the future? You make the future. I think that's the saying. So that's the goal of this show, is to make the future, is to build the future of oil and gas. And
So if you're an oil and gas professional and you're listening right now, and let's say you're environmental, what we're going to be exploring is this whole idea of autonomous compliance, right? Where the services and the techniques and technology to help you automatically comply with new regulations that are coming up. If you're in operations, this idea of autonomous operations, that your sensors, your cameras, whatever, are sensing a problem, but then issuing through AI and machine modeling commands so that equipment on the pad can literally adjust itself. Again, monitoring says, oh, I found a problem, shut the whole pad down, send somebody out and fix it all. And that's still going to happen. But the idea that you can send a command and now other equipment can respond using their own machine model and adjust itself without sending somebody out, that is the goal. If you're in IT, we're going to be covering AI and machine models. We're going to have on our CleanConnect top guy, and you're going to learn about machine models from PhD level guys who actually teach it at some of the most prestigious machine modeling schools in the country. You're going to learn about the cameras and sensors, about intelligent edge and how to manage that. And if you're a C-suite listening, sounding, wow, that sounds too geeky for me, you are going to be helped lead. Like, you could hear an episode and go back to your peers, your C-suite people, and help lead projects that will lead to digital transformation projects, going to save money and actually make money, on the revenue side. So we're super excited. Want to welcome you to Digital Roughnecks and encourage you to tune in each week as we talk about real solutions to real problems and the future of where we believe oil and gas is going.